So if in case the customer or the buyer doesn't agree for this, there will be a rephrasing of the deliverables done. Because when the customer has stated the deliverables, he might be thinking something in the mind, but when he says something, he might tell something else, something totally different. And we as a listener, we might understand only 50% of what he's telling. And when we record it in our project deliverables, we might record something else altogether. So in this path of communication flow, so many things keeps on changing. And the person who actually does the job is again totally another guy. So there is a total loss of connect between what is expected and what is delivered. So there is going to be a difference between both. So to avoid this huge gap of communication, this DOD plays a very, very, very major role, right? So even in the textbook, DOD is given a lot of importance, right? So as you can see, all these are key terms that we get to see in the examinations. So just keep them in the back of your mind. You don't have to learn these definitions by heart, but I think by now you understood what these DOD agreements are. So in from seller's point of view and buyer's point of view, what is the difference between the understanding level of the deliverable, and then the shared vision, right? What I think or what I see, even you should see the same. That's the shared vision. So the project manager's duty it is that he has to share this sense of shared vision. So to understand this, there could be so many tools and techniques that can be used, right? So the visual models is just one of them. I talked about giving a rough drawing. So that is one of the models to enhance this shared vision. So there are other visual models also. Like for example, there is a use case diagram. You might have heard the term use case before. For those who has not heard this term before, use case is nothing but a basic representation of about how the user is going to look at the deliverable, how he is going to use the end product. So for example, take an example of YouTube, right? YouTube has a lot of videos. So we usually go to YouTube to watch the videos, but there are also some content makers who go to the YouTube to create the video. So as a user who watches the video, for me, the website looks totally different in my point of view. It only thinks in a way that what video I should seek, for entertainment or education purposes, for whatever purposes he's looking at YouTube. His way of thinking, the user's way of thinking is going to be, to grasp the knowledge from the videos. So he will look only towards the search button. He will understand only the search criteria, what suggestions the videos, what suggestions the website is giving for me to watch. These are my important points as a user who logged in to watch the videos. But for a person who has logged into this same website to create the content, he will look for the video content creating button. Where is that plus button which allows me to create that video, right? So the same website, but the point of view is totally changed. So this same explanation that I did today, it is given in a pictorial way. It's a very simple, vague pictorial way. Here is a user who wants to seek the videos. So for him, what is important is how he has to log in. So registration is important for him. So after he registers, he has to enter his credentials. Every time he log in, he has to enter his username, password. This is about any generic website, for example, Facebook. So another thing could be, I want to search some content, search some document, or search some video. And then finally, what are the suggestions that I have? Even without searching, what suggestions do I have? Right? These are the interfaces in the use case of a video seeker. Right? This is nothing but the use case or user case interface. If we uh, if we talk about multiple users for the same interface, the interface is going to be the same, but a new user is going to be added again. Who is he? Like for example, the developer, or the admin of this same website, right? So what does he look at the same screen? He will look for a development tool, right? He will look for the maintenance of this screen. He will look for the UI, UX, user interface, and all that stuff. So I hope you get the idea. This is a simple representation of how a use case is going to look like. Green zone and red zone. Basically, green zone people are the happy ones, right? So they are the people who are happy with the agile processes. They may not be happy in life, right? Jokes apart, everybody should be happy. But the green zone people are the ones who are actually adhering to all these agile practices, who are always motivated, who are happy to work in the agile way. So the project manager has to categorize or profile each and every stakeholder, understanding that okay, this set of people, or out of the 7 8 people I have in the scrum, 4 people are in the green zone, and out of the 9, 5 people are in the red zone. Who are the red zone people? Red zone people are the people from the same scrum team, same agile team, or same the project team, who are totally not motivated to contribute to the project, right? So we are talking about engagement, right? So the people who are in red zone are our main targets to boost the engagement. So I think you have all already understood about how the engagement level is profiled or how we analyze this. If we go back a little in the engagement lesson, we have identified a list of stakeholders, and then we have identified in different sections what is his current stage and what is the desired stage, right? So for every current stage and the desired state, there is a gap, and we as a project manager, we have to bridge to bring a person who is in the current state to a desired state, right? So that is what used to happen, and the same thing happens also here. But who is in the current state is the red zone guy, right? So the red zone people have to now go to the green zone people, of course, with the addition of all the steps that we have learned so far, and we are going to learn from here. So, and secondly, the most important thing is you have to protect the green zone people also, right? As I told in the example, 4 people out of 9 are green zone, and 5 people, the rest people are in the red zone. So the people who are in the green zone also have risk of going towards the red zone. So it is the project manager's duty also to stop this transition from green zone to red zone. So we have to encourage people from red to come to green, and similarly, we have to stop this transition of green people turning red. So if we focus more on the agile way of working, what red zone actually is defined is like red zone people. Of course, I mentioned here that they are not motivated and unhappy, but these are not just the two attributes that the red zone people has. So if we read it out from the textbook, the red zone people blame others for everything. They respond quite defensively every time. They feel threatened. Red zone people, they always trigger the defensiveness. They don't focus on the long term advantage, they just focus on the short term advantage. They don't listen quite effectively. They always communicate high level of in disapproval mode. And so all these things are attributes for the red zone people. Similarly, for the green zone people, who are these are the people who take the responsibility. They come forward to take the responsibility. They don't defend when a new task is assigned to them. They are always thinking about long term goals and short term goals both. They always welcome feedback. They listen to everybody. Always, they are good listeners. They use persuasion rather than force to get things done. So these are the few attributes that you should keep it in the back of your mind when we say green zone people or red zone people. These are just profiling that the stakeholder or the scrum master is doing to boost the stakeholder engagement.